I've cleaned a lot of spaces over the years, homes, offices, commercial kitchens, you name it. But there's something I noticed that absolutely blew my mind. I walked into a hotel once and watched a housekeeper completely transform a room that looked like it had been hit by a hurricane into something so pristine I could probably perform surgery on the nightstand. And she did it in less time than most people spend scrolling through their phones. I became genuinely curious about how that's even possible. So I started digging into what hotel housekeepers actually know that the rest of us don't. And I'm telling you right now, this system is going to change how you think about cleaning your own space. The first thing you need to understand is why hotels care so much about speed in the first place. It's not because they're trying to cut corners, it's the opposite. Hotels operate on what I call the efficiency paradox. They need to clean fast, but they absolutely cannot sacrifice quality. Why? Because a dirty room ruins everything. A guest could have the most incredible experience at a hotel, amazing food, beautiful amenities, perfect service. And one strand of hair in the bathroom wipes all of that out. One dust bunny under the bed, and suddenly they're leaving a one-star review online. Hotels know that cleanliness is literally make or break for their reputation and their survival. Think about it from a guest perspective for a moment. You're on vacation. You've paid good money for this room. You're looking forward to relaxing, enjoying yourself, maybe sleeping well in a comfortable bed. You walk in and find the bathroom isn't spotless. You find a hair in the shower. You notice the sheets feel gritty. That single experience overshadows everything else. It doesn't matter that the hotel has a 5-star restaurant. It doesn't matter that the lobby is beautiful. You're thinking about that dirty room, and you're already mentally writing a negative review before you even unpack your suitcase. So hotels have had to figure something out that works in their favor. They've developed systems that are so efficient, so refined that they can turn around a room in around 15 minutes. And I'm not talking about a quick tidy, I'm talking about a full cleaning from top to bottom. This isn't just a loose guideline either. Professional housekeepers clean somewhere between 14 and 16 rooms during an 8-hour shift. Hotels track this religiously. Housekeepers are timed. If they consistently fall behind, they get retrained. If they keep falling behind after that, they get replaced. It's intense, but it's because the system actually works. And it's been proven effective across thousands of hotels around the world. Now here's what most of us miss. The speed isn't the magic. The system is. And systems are something anyone can learn and apply. If you've been feeling like your cleaning takes forever, like you're constantly moving between rooms, only to realize you forgot something or missed a spot, this is gonna feel like a light bulb moment. If you'd like to understand this system and learn how to apply it, please subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the breakdown coming up. Let me walk you through how this actually works, starting with what happens before a housekeeper even touches a room. The magic begins with preparation, which is honestly one of the most underrated parts of the entire process. A housekeeper doesn't just grab random supplies and head into a room. Instead, they load their cart in a specific order based on exactly what they'll need. Think of it like packing for a trip. You wouldn't throw random items in your suitcase and hope for the best. You think about what you need and when you'll need it. That's what a housekeeping cart is. It's organized by sequence. Everything is placed in the order it will be used. But it goes even deeper than that. Hotels create what they call room sets, which are pre-made bundles, with fresh linens, amenities, and toiletries all prepared and bagged before anyone walks into a room. So a housekeeper doesn't have to hunt for the right items for each room. It's all ready to grab and go. This eliminates dozens of small decisions. You're not running back to a supply closet wondering what you need. You're not rummaging through piles of clean towels trying to find matching sets. Everything is already organized and ready. Multiply that across 14 rooms and you're saving massive amounts of time and mental energy. That's the compounding effect of good systems. One of the most brilliant parts of this system that I want to highlight is something called color-coded cleaning supplies. When I first learned about this, I couldn't believe it. Red cloths are dedicated to high-risk areas like toilets. Yellow cloths go to bathroom sinks and mirrors. Blue cloths are for general surfaces. Green cloths are for kitchens and food prep areas. The science behind this is solid. It dramatically reduces cross-contamination of bacteria, viruses, and allergens. You're never accidentally using a toilet cloth on a bathroom mirror. You're never spreading bathroom germs onto your bedroom surfaces. It's like creating traffic rules for bacteria. Professional housekeepers carry about 20 to 25 cloths in various colors on their carts, all ready to deploy in exactly the right situation. What's fascinating is that this isn't just about cleanliness in the moment. Studies have shown that color-coded systems reduce the spread of harmful bacteria by up to 80%. That's the difference between a room that passes white glove inspection and a room where someone finds something unsettling. Hotels literally run white gloves along surfaces. Imagine that. Your housekeeper is working under the pressure of those standards. They have to be that thorough, that fast, and that consistent. Now let me talk about the real foundation of this entire system, and it's something I call the never touch twice rule. This is the core principle that makes everything else possible. Every single action a housekeeper takes is designed to move the room closer to completion. They never circle back to redo something they missed. Every motion has intention. Every step has a purpose. This requires thinking ahead instead of reacting to whatever mess catches your eye first. It's the difference between cleaning chaos and cleaning with a plan. When most people clean, we do what I call reactive cleaning. We see a dirty surface, we clean it, we find something out of place, we move it. But we're constantly backtracking. We clean the counter, then we realize we need to dust above the counter, and dust falls back onto the counter, so we have to clean it again. We organize one shelf, then realize we need items from that shelf for another area, so we have to reorganize. We're creating unnecessary work for ourselves. The professional system eliminates this. Every step is planned. Every movement flows into the next. Nothing has to be redone. The difference in efficiency is staggering. This is where understanding the actual thinking process comes in. When a housekeeper enters a space, they're doing a mental map. They're thinking about gravity. They're thinking about the flow of contamination. They're thinking about what needs to happen first so that subsequent tasks don't undo previous work. All of that happens in seconds. Let me also address something important about why this system matters beyond just speed. Housekeeping has one of the highest injury rates among hospitality workers. Musculoskeletal disorders account for a significant percentage of those injuries. The reason hotel systems are so carefully designed isn't just about efficiency. It's about sustainability and worker health. When you're doing the same movements the same way day after day, your body learns the movement and can execute it without injury. When you're moving randomly, you're putting stress on your body. So the system protects the worker while also protecting the guest through superior cleanliness. It's a win for everyone involved. That's why I respect this system so much. It's humane. Understanding all of this context is crucial because it shifts how you think about cleaning your own home. It's not about working harder. It's about working smarter. It's about having a plan. It's about letting products do their job. It's about organizing your space and your supplies so you're not wasting energy looking for things or redoing work. It's about thinking ahead. If you're interested in implementing this system in your own home, the foundation is preparation. That's where everything starts. Before you even touch a cleaning cloth, you need to organize. That's what we're going to dive into in part 2, where I'll break down the actual step-by-step sequence and show you how to apply it. We'll also explore my personal experience testing this system. If you're getting value from this breakdown, I'd really appreciate a like on this video. That helps the algorithm understand that people care about this content. If you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe now so you catch part 2, where the real transformation happens. Drop a comment below about which room in your home takes the longest to clean right now. That might be the perfect place to test this system first. Now that you understand why the hotel system exists and how foundational preparation is, let's dive into the actual sequence that makes the magic happen. This is where the rubber meets the road. This is where the system translates into actual results. When a housekeeper enters a room, the first thing they do is increase visibility. They flip on every light. They yank open the curtains. Full visibility means no surprises hiding in dark corners. They can see everything they're working with. This is critical because it sets the stage for everything that comes next. You can't clean what you can't see, and you can't make decisions about prioritization if areas are dark or obscured. Maximum light changes everything. Then comes what I think of as the lightning round of obvious fixes. They scoop up all the trash in one sweep, not piece by piece. Everything goes into a single bag in one circuit of the room. Room service trays, empty bottles, that mysterious sock under the desk, all gone. The dirty towels get bundled together. The goal here is to clear out the obvious debris quickly so you can actually see the surfaces you're about to clean. You're essentially doing a decluttering pass first, then a cleaning pass after. Most of us try to do both at the same time, which is inefficient. The bed comes next, and this is where it gets interesting. A housekeeper doesn't wrestle with fitted sheets because fitted sheets are the enemy of speed. Hotels use flat sheets for everything. Flat sheets just cooperate. Fitted sheets are a nightmare when you're trying to work fast. The sheets become organized into what's called triple sheeting. A flat sheet, then a blanket, then another sheet on top. This eliminates the need for duvet covers entirely, which would add unnecessary time and complexity. The corners are tucked with precision, creating those famous hospital corners that look almost architectural in their sharpness. But these corners aren't just about appearance. They're about stability and efficiency. A properly made bed doesn't come undone, which means guests don't arrive to find the sheets falling off or wrinkled. The technique for hospital corners is actually simple once you know it. You tuck the sheet at the foot of the bed, then lift the hanging section at approximately a 40-degree angle. Then you tuck the other side in. The result is a corner that's so tight it looks professionally done. It takes practice, but once you have it down, you can do it automatically. The beautiful thing is that this one technique has probably been refined over 100 years of hospitality history. It works because it's been tested thousands of times. Now we get to the bathroom, and this is where the real genius shows up. Here's the key technique that changed my whole perspective on cleaning chemistry. They spray everything first. They walk through the bathroom with their cleaner and apply it to every surface. Then they walk away. While those chemicals are doing their job, breaking down grime and bacteria, they're handling other tasks. They're not standing around waiting for the product to work. They're using that time productively. This is brilliant because most of us do spray and wipe, which means we're fighting the product instead of letting it help us. Cleaning products have chemistry. They need time to work. When you spray a surface and immediately wipe it, you're not giving the formula time to break down the organic material. You're essentially just spreading around the mess. But when you spray and let it sit for even a minute or two, the chemistry does the heavy lifting. The surfactants break down the bonds between the dirt and the surface. The bacteria and grime want to separate. Your wiping becomes much more effective because you're not fighting against molecular bonds. You're just removing what's already been loosened. When a housekeeper returns to the bathroom after surfaces have sat, the cleaning order is critical. They work from inside out and top to bottom. Shower and tiles first, then sink, then vanity, and toilet last. This isn't random. It's organized so that nothing gets recontaminated. If you've been clean the toilet first and then clean the sink, you're moving germs backward. By cleaning the toilet last, you ensure the cleanest surfaces stay clean. You're working your way from the most contaminated area to the least, or from least contaminated to most, depending on the surface. The ordering prevents spreading contamination backward through the space. After the bathroom is handled comes what I think of as the final sprint. High-touch surfaces get special attention with disinfectant. Door handles, light switches, remote controls, the thermostat. These are the spots that actually impact guest health and comfort. They get targeted disinfection. This is smart because it acknowledges that some surfaces matter more than others when it comes to disease transmission. A clean toilet is important, but a contaminated light switch that everyone touches is a more direct vector for spreading illness. Then comes the strategic dusting. This isn't leisurely contemplative dusting, it's surgical. They move through the room with purpose. And because they're working from top to bottom and back to front, dust that falls lands on areas they haven't cleaned yet, not on surfaces they've already finished. It's like painting yourself out of a corner. Vacuuming or sweeping happens next, always moving toward the exit. So they're not walking on what they just cleaned. Finally, the mop if needed. The last step is the final inspection from the doorway. They stand where a guest will first see the room and scan for anything that looks off. They check the space from the perspective that matters, the perspective the guest will have when they walk in. This is something we rarely do at home. We finish cleaning and we're thinking about what we just cleaned. A guest is thinking about what they see when they enter. Those are two different perspectives, and the guest perspective is the one that matters. I decided to test this entire system in my own space. I picked my bedroom and bathroom, and I didn't tidy them in the morning, because I wanted to test it on a genuinely messy situation. I created my own version of their cart system using a cleaning caddy from my laundry room and stocked it with everything I'd need, different cleaners, window cleaner, everything. I made color-coded cloths too, yellow for toilets, white for cleaner areas, blue for mirrors. I set up my towels to go and made the bed using their method. The results were eye-opening. I was shocked at how quickly I could clean. Now, I'll be honest, it took me a little longer than 15 minutes because I'm still learning the system. But what struck me most was realizing how much time I normally waste backtracking. When I actually thought ahead about what I was doing next, when I had everything I needed before I started, the whole process became smooth. There was no second guessing. There was no running downstairs to grab something I forgot. The pre-spraying technique made an enormous difference. Instead of spray and wipe repeatedly, I sprayed everything first and let the chemistry do the heavy lifting while I tackled other tasks. Cleaning products actually work better when you give them time to do their job, instead of expecting them to work instantly. That was a game changer. The never touch twice rule genuinely forced me to think ahead instead of just reacting to whatever mess caught my eye. No more cleaning the counter, and then realizing I need to dust the light fixture above it and getting the counter dirty again. I tested the same system in my kitchen and was surprised how much faster it was. When I treated trash collection like an initial clearing, I sprayed surfaces and let them sit while I did other tasks, worked from top to bottom and finished with floors. Everything flowed naturally. What really surprised me wasn't just that the system made me faster, it made me less exhausted. When you're not constantly making decisions about where to clean next or hunting for supplies, your brain actually relaxes. The mental load gets lighter. When your process is automatic, cleaning becomes almost meditative instead of stressful. You're moving with purpose, which sounds intense, but it actually feels calming once you're in the rhythm. Hotel housekeepers aren't superhuman. They're not special. They're working with a system that's been refined over decades. Every major hotel chain has spent millions of dollars figuring out the fastest way to clean a room without sacrificing quality, and then they train their staff to execute that system perfectly. The magic isn't working harder or faster. It's being smarter about every single motion. When every movement has a purpose and nothing gets done twice. Time becomes your ally instead of your enemy. If you've been struggling with cleaning taking forever, if you feel like it's eating up your entire weekend, this system could genuinely change that. It's not about becoming faster. It's about becoming organized. It's about planning ahead. It's about letting your products do their job instead of fighting them. I really encourage you to give it a shot. Pick one space, maybe your bathroom or bedroom, and follow this sequence exactly. Give yourself a few tries to get comfortable with it. Because like anything, it takes practice. But once it clicks, you'll never clean the same way again. If this has been helpful, please like and subscribe. Share this with someone who struggles with cleaning taking up their life. Comment below about the first space you're going to tackle with this system. Your feedback and results are what inspire me to keep creating content that actually helps people. Thank you for being here, and I'll catch you in the next one.